And in the review, they say, we will counterpoint, and we will tell you one, but first let's review. If you have no control over your life, then if you have no control over your life other than the minor monkey choices, then you can blow with the wind, let it all flow, and so forth. In other words, you can just, if you don't have any control over anything, why don't you just lay back and let it happen? That's what they're saying. If the control you have is steered and manipulated until you finally end up where the fates want you anyway, then you again might as well relax and go with the flow. As we watch man go about his life, we can plainly see that he functions as though he believes he can control what happens to him and to others. Most don't blow with the wind. They go about life controlling things. John questions that belief. Do we truly control our lives, or does it just seem like it? Because he lives his understanding, he is ready to blow with the wind if he has no true control. He wanted true control. As with all monkeys who ask for knowledge, the answer we would give would be meaningless until there was much more understanding. John countered with the fact that he could learn and was willing to do so. Again, good point. It is at this point that we must get straight where we are going. John asked for understanding before he would venture on. Here we are going to explain how John got to the path. Or more clearly, we are going to follow John as he gains the understanding that he in truth does know the course and the outcome of all of his choices. Thus the path. And the next chapter is A Course in Power or Control. And here it changes from them talking to me talking. And why? And I say, it is appropriate for me to give this part since I lived it. It also seems more reasonable to narrate from the viewpoint of a person who lives here hour by hour. There are two central arguments that they, who gave me this work, and I continue to have. I understand that what I'm saying is there are two arguments that I continually have with the they who kind of like authored this work, who gave me this information, and we continue to have this argument. The first is that my awareness is stuck here as a monkey, and I live that role. Each minute can become an eternity for me. I don't have that cosmic view of things. If I am going to die. The understanding that part of me will go on is now part of my life, but it wasn't. All of us humans come into this philosophical argument from a temporal monkey point of view. They, on the other hand, see the cosmic eternal view, and they aren't the same view. When they discuss something taking a short time, they mean several lifetimes. We hear several hours. It's a battle to get them to shift to our time zone. I understand the first problem that I continually have had with them is that their view of time is pathetic. Mine is tick, tick, tick. You ever had a toothache? Every second is agony. Their years, they think in terms of years being milliseconds. They think in terms of lifetimes. See, they don't see things in terms of tick, tick, tick. They see things in terms of lifetimes. Well, you're doing pretty good this lifetime. Keep it up, and maybe you'll get it in the next lifetime. I can't think like that. I don't see things like that. So our first argument continually was, this is tick, 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 and you're seeing lifetime, lifetime, lifetime. What's your problem? So that was the first one. I go on. The second argument comes from the fact that even as a monkey, I don't like being someone or something's pawn. I want to believe that I can make choices, and those choices are real. Give me the data, give me the understanding, give me the choices, and I'll run my life. They have a different view of how man gets the choices made. Their view goes something like this. The choices are just an answer to a question on a test for most. They choose one way, and it shows that they have learned a lesson. They choose another way, and it shows that they have more to go through before they get it. They choose a third way, and they have locked their fate, so to speak. Their life goals, and directions are irrelevant since they are going to die anyway. Besides, each life is but a snap of a finger in the cosmic view. Now that's what they say. That's the way they see our life. Let me read it again. This is how they view man. The choices of man are just an answer to a question on a test for most. They choose one way and it shows that they have learned a lesson. They choose another way and it shows that they have more to go through before they get it. They choose a third way and they have locked their fate, so to speak. Their life goals and directions are irrelevant since they're going to die anyway. Besides, each life is but a snap of a finger in the cosmic view. And I say, is there any wonder that man's prayers are rarely answered in the form that he can comprehend? The fight then is to get them to give their answers in the form that, number one, understands that the reader lives in time segments, and these segments can be seconds or days depending on the circumstances. In any case, these segments are never lifetimes. Number two, that the answers that they give have to come in the form, number two, that understands that man believes this life and his accompanying plan for it are important. He believes his choices are important. He believes his monkey is important. He believes that self is important. We do a lot of, and then it's kind of like, we do a lot of, no, I can't say that. We have a lot of discussions. What difference does it make which way they look at our life? They are trying to convince us that we should get out of this trap and go on with our travels in Father's universe. I, being egotistical and bullheaded and so forth, say their approach is so far a joke. First, not one of their examples, and by examples I was saying prophets, for mankind was married and with kids. That leaves man with the concept that the example, the prophet if you will, was great, but hardly has anything to do with his own personal kind of life. Second, and I'm sorry if I offend, but what person in his right mind would choose to spend Good Friday just hanging around? The bottom line, if they think they're making great progress getting man to see the light, they should look again. The fallen one is here in this plane with man. It understands time, pain, loss, joy, monkey love, and the need to control one's life. It is here, not out there in some plane where things are different. And most important, it is winning. Man is rapidly falling for the lies. With those kinds of arguments, we have traveled through this path to the path. Remember now, I said, teach me, I can learn. I asked for it. So you understand what I'm saying is that the examples that were given so far, if you look at the examples, look at all the prophets. I mean, they were killed, they were stoned, they were beheaded, they were crucified, they were what? I mean, they weren't married, they weren't family men, they were kind of weird things that ate honey and locusts. I mean, they were give me somebody like me, and then have him talk to me about it. He's got family and kids. He's not some weirdo out there in the desert doing something. Even Christ, if you use him as an example, he got crucified. He went in there and he had his say, or maybe didn't have his say, in front of the bureaucracy, and they killed him. I mean, everybody get in line and follow behind? I don't think so. We're not that stupid. We need something more. I mean, don't misunderstand me. Christ was, I don't suspect that probably we even know what he was. And as an example and a man and had total understanding, absolutely impeccable, and had a tremendous influence on people. But if you're a logical person, are you going to follow him? I mean, I'm not ready to hang on the cross. It hurts. I'm not ready to go in there and tell the IRS I'm not paying my taxes. It hurts. I mean, in effect, he did far worse than that. He just said, hey, you're wrong. to religious people, and they were in power. So I said, come on, you got to tell me what's really going on. I want to know the program. I'd like to have a path that I could follow that didn't lead to the cross necessarily, but I could still get on with my life. And so they kind of wanted me to tell you that I did ask for it. I did say, teach me. So if I'm complaining later on down the line, don't feel sorry for me. I asked for it. I chose to know